there is a right way and a wrong way. Learn the right way. This will give you an efficiency which will save you seconds. And a few seconds mean a lot when you have only a tenth of a second on the target. A drill which is instilled in the mind will, in the event of an emergency, become automatic. You just do the right thing without having to think. Here then is the drill. As you see them on the screen, try to remember their sequence. Open turret doors. Fold safety harness upwards and backwards over the ammunition tanks so that you don't sit on the harness when getting in. By means of the handrail and roof of the fuselage, swing into the turret feet first. Plug in intercom. Make sure that it is well home. Close turret doors, left first, then right. Bolt. Lean back and make certain they are locked. Do up safety belt. Test reflector sight, setting it for correct strength. Check ammunition by removing the lids from the tanks, inspecting the base of the rounds to make quite certain that the ammunition in both tanks is joined and that it is being fed from the rear tanks. Replace lids. Remove arming cable and loading toggle, check them and return to stowage. Adjust seat by winding the handles on both sides to suit your height, and return handles to their stowed position. Unlock turret and test for rotation, depression and elevation. And check operation of firing gear. Load guns by pulling the rounds up into the feed opening with the arming cable. Detach the arming cable and press down the last link. Close the breech cover and return the arming cable to the proper stowage. Cock guns twice by inserting the toggle over the cocking stud and pulling back. Return the loading toggle to its proper stowage. Move the fire and safe unit to fire. Fire test burst. If airborne, over the sea. If on the ground and station orders permit, into the ground. Ensure that hand rotation is disengaged. Report guns OK to captain. This is the drill for vacating the turret. Whilst power is still available, slowly rotate the turret to the central position and engage locking plunger in the recess of the cam. Put fire and safe unit to safe. Switch off reflector sight. Unload guns by raising breech cover and pulling back cocking stud by means of loading toggle. Raise transporter and remove round from face of breech block. Depress rear sear release, thereby allowing breech block to fly forward. Whilst breech cover is raised, release end of belt from the retaining pole. Press down transporter. Finally close breech cover. Disconnect intercom. Hold socket with left hand. Pull out jack with right, placing same in pocket. Undo safety belt. Open turret doors and, by gripping handrail in roof of fuselage, swing out of the turret and close and lock doors. Now let us see the routine carried out in actual practice. The ordeal of a first flight in a gun turret will be made much easier if you remember your gun turret drill. The time will come when you will make your first operational flight. In this sequence, you will observe the major points of interest and mistakes you are likely to make unless you have thoroughly learned your turret drill. There is a right and wrong way of doing everything. Learn the right way. Many drill sequences have been tried, and the one you have just seen has been proved to be the most efficient and practical. You can drill yourself by repeating over and over again the drill you have just seen. In this sequence, we persuaded a qualified air gunner to play the part of a trainee in order to demonstrate the many mistakes that can be made if the drill routine is forgotten. The old method for the rear gunner was to stow his parachute in the fuselage. Now you take it into the turret with you. The doors are shut as he arrives at his turret, as they should be. Obviously, he has learned how to swing into a rear turret without taking a rest on the elevator bar. And he is closing his doors in the correct sequence. The nose gunner stows his parachute in the proper stowage. Let us hope for the same efficiency as we had from the tail gunner, but apparently not. First of all, he has to open his doors. No, unlock them first. It's much easier. Now swing in. Not head first, idiot. Feet first. We don't mind you hurting yourself, but mind our turrets. Grip the handrail in the roof of the fuselage and swing in feet first. And he does it, trailing his intercom lead behind him. It's much better to keep it in your pocket until you plug in. Unless you're careful, you will find yourself getting flustered like this gunner. We know it's his first trip, but take it easy. Now watch this man. It is evident that he has not learned his drill thoroughly, but you can profit by his mistakes. He closed the doors incorrectly, but fortunately remember to test them, thereby finding out his mistake in time. If he had not, this would have happened in flight, with very unpleasant consequences. Apart from icy cold, the damage might result in loss of life, and certainly the loss of a very good door. Some of the drill is remembered. The safety belt is done up. Reflector sight is checked and set to the correct strength for daylight conditions. Removing lids from tanks, he checks ammunition for supply and operation. And you observe he makes certain of both tanks. Next, he checks tools and returns them to stowage, and satisfies himself that the hand rotation is disengaged. He remembers turret rotation test, but has forgotten to unlock. Forcibly reminded, he unlocks and tests for rotation, elevation, and depression.